You're listening to the Gabe Molina Podcast.
Cuando yo sentí es cerca tu mirar de color de cielo, de color mar, mi paisaje triste se viste de azul, con ese azul que llevas tú. Era un no me olvides convertida en flor. Era un día nublado que olvidar el sol azul como una ojera de mujer, como listón de azul, azul, azul de amanecer.
Wow.
I like that one.
That was really good. What's the name of that song?
That one's called Azul from Agustin Lara. And it's talking about color blue in all its meanings, right? Mostly I like because it's talking about a woman, her ojeras, the bags.
Mm-hmm.
And so the blue sky, the blue ribbons in her hair. I don't know. It makes me think, it reminds me of my mom because all of us actually like have kind of like ojeras, like even me. I'm only, I just turned like 28, but like somebody even mentioned it the other day, and he was like, "No, wear them with pride." Like, thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a beautiful song. I've never heard it before.
It's really awesome.
I'm just taking it in. How uncomfortable is it when you see when you play a song like that, and everybody in the room is staring at you with a silly grin on their face because they can't. They're not there. It's like when I listen to you play that, I catch myself grinning, but it's because I don't know what else to do with myself because you're almost smitten.
It's the best.
That's amazing.
It's the best feeling ever. Because I know like people like felt it. That's all I want. I just wanted to feel them. Even people who don't even speak Spanish, they're like, I felt that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I live for.
What does it feel like to know, like, to know that you can go into a room, and if nobody notices you, you walk into the room with your guitar, and you can start doing exactly what you just did, and you'll have everybody in the room's attention. How does that make you feel?
I guess I never really think about it from like the attention part. I love to see people smile. Mm-hmm. So like once I actually was supposed to go to dental school. That was planned.
Dental school?
Yeah,
Thank God you missed it.
I wanted to be a dentist.
Really?
Yeah,
what made you want to do that?
I wanted to make people smile.
Oh, okay.
And now in some other way, I get to do that. That's awesome. Yeah, my parents still give me shit about it. They're like,
really?
They'd be a dentist.
They're like you'd be living in Olmos Basin right now.
No, what happened is that I did an internship in high school to be a dental assistant, kind of just get into the field, and I loved it. You know, I wanted something secure.
Yeah.
You know, something that
would pay the bills. Were you playing music real young too, or when did that actually come on? Like, did they get...
Not so much. I've always liked music. I wanted to be a dancer when I was younger.
What were you listening to, or what type of music were you into young?
Popular music, obviously, like what was on the radio.
You're going to have to tell me, because when I was young, popular music was like...
You're right.
Who is it? The the Bangles and stuff like that?
No, popular. Well, I was on the radio, mainly like what my parents would listen to, or even my grandparents. So, they listen to a lot of Tejano. They'd always have the Tejano station on their car or country. It would not change from those 1, 2. Don't.
Did you like it or?
I liked the Spanish more. I always took more to the Spanish. I remember like when I started recognizing the songs, like, oh yeah, I know who that is, or I know that song, and I'll like get excited, like, hey, I like that song.
Yeah.
I remembered that song.
Is there a? Let me ask you this, and I don't know if you'll know or not, but I feel like, and this is my ignorance, right? I love all types of music. I get into the Spanish, but I don't go as deep as like maybe some of the other genres that I listen to, because I started listening to those other things when I was like in high school or junior high, whatever. I slowly get into different genres like in different decades or anything. But I feel like a lot of the really good, now there's a lot of good Spanish music, but I feel like the best stuff was recorded a long time ago and has been redone. You always hear a song that's somebody's version of, I don't know, Fito Olivares or somebody, or somebody even older than that, where you go, okay, that was a remix and that sounds really good. Or like some of the ranchera music. Great stuff's been around forever. I guess what I'm kind of alluding to is, where's the new good shit?
The new good shit.
You know what I'm saying? And not that there's not some, but like...
It's because you're right, because it goes back around like that song that I just sang, Azul, recently. Artist named Natalia Lafourcade recorded it. She did a whole homage to Agustin Lara. And Agustin Lara wrote songs, he was like from the 20s, 30s.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Yeah. So the fact that she got, a bunch of his songs and remade them and definitely just put a turn on them, so Agustin Lara played piano. So you can kind of get a gist of like how his music sounded, really old-timey,
Yeah.
And Natalia Lafourcade took it and put drums in the back and put a synth in the back. But still, like that song, Azul, she did it acoustically. But still with her, I guess, new voice. Yeah. But still, same but different.
Not that that's a bad thing. There's a lot of great music that gets redone.
Because that's how it stays alive.
Yeah. And I guess that's part of it, is maybe keeping that music and that culture alive through the generations. Maybe it's not so much that people aren't maybe producing new songs or making new work, but they're keeping it alive.
Exactly, yeah. It's because they are, like, I guess that's why I haven't gotten into writing songs, because all the references that I have are grand people who are writing these amazing songs. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Put some...
Are you interested in writing songs?
Yeah, but, I'd write songs for me, not, I think what you're referring to more is like the music industry,
right? And
how they're just trying to put a hit out. They're really not songs. They just want it to hit, make a little money, and then on to the next one. And that's why I guess they're kind of like some musicians feel like they're kind of like half-ass songs.
Yeah. Well, like George Strait, I don't think ever wrote anything. I think he just sang. So.
Yeah, actually. So, a lot of people do that. Another artist that I really like, Marco Antonio Muniz. He didn't write songs, but he interpreted songs. Jose, very also famous artist, never wrote songs. They kind of focused on interpreting them, which people also do that very well.
You got a lot of music knowledge. Where does that come from?
I just like it. I think I just submerged myself into what I started off with, mariachi. And so, like, mariachi is just so diverse because it's so old. So, like, you can take a son, and it's more of a rhythm. It comes from like campo and stuff, so it's like it's real bravo. It's supposed to get you to the work day, hauling, the hay and things like that, getting the cattle in. It's more like driven. The other song is just about drinking, and we still sing songs about drinking or losing a loved one. It's all cycle. Yeah, it all comes back around. We're all singing about the same stuff.
What age were you at when when you realized that you had a little bit more than just Mija likes to sing kind of thing?
Oh, God. I'm still in that process. No, it's because nobody ever told me, like, oh, you're amazing. Like, now they do all the time, but back then they didn't want me. Yeah. No, it's not that. I don't think I had talent. I think I just really wanted it.
Yeah.
And I just kept on doing it until it just came out better the next time and the next time. And it's like anything, it's repetition. If you do it so many times, you're gonna get better at it.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of us, even though maybe we have passion for something, there's a certain point where, especially like growing up in a small town, right? I love when people stick to the arts because it's difficult. Whether you're a painter or a sculptor, nobody wants to give you money. Nobody wants to give you money, especially when you're honing your craft, right? It's difficult to get to the point to stay in that art long enough to become good enough that people are going to want to give you money. Because everybody goes, hey, you're 18, you got to go to work, right? You got to go work in mariachi bar, or you got to go work at the refinery or something.
If I was 18 and told me to work at mariachi bar, that'd be awesome.
But I always feel like there's so many talented people that let go of their skill or their gift because they feel pressured by responsibility. And not that you can't be an artist and be responsible, but a lot of times it's kind of like, old school Mexicanos would be like, nobody's going to pay you to play the guitar. Go to work.
It's rough.
No,
it's rough.
And your time starts getting allocated to other stuff. But that's why, like, you're really good at what you do. You and the girls are all very good at what y'all do. And I was telling my wife earlier, I said, it's funny. I love seeing people play music because I have no skill at it. None whatsoever. I bought a harmonica during COVID. Oh my God. I bought some of those little Congo drums. I'm a noise maker, right? So the house was loud and obnoxious. But it's like, I always just want something. But at the same time, like you said, you put in a lot of time, you put in a lot of effort.
We gotta start out somewhere.
I just like to make noise, but my attention span's like that long. So, but no, I think it's...
I think that goes for everybody. Everybody loves live music. I mean, me too. When I'm not playing, I'm like going to see where my friends are playing.
Was there ever a time where you kind of thought you were going to let it go? Or
I did.
never?
Oh, yeah. If you ask any like full-time musician, they quit a few times.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think you're a full-time musician until you actually quit a few times. It's just because it's hard, It's like working off of commission.
Yeah.
And it's not a for sure paycheck. You got to go out there, and it's what you put into it. It's the friends that you make also, besides the music. I forget that whole thing too. Like, you can be a very good musician, but if you don't go out and talk to people and make friends or just be nice, because you could also be a really good musician, but a butthead, nobody's going to call you.
Yeah.
Well, at least in my line of work, because I work mostly in ensembles. Group of people. We all got to get along. We got to make the flow.
So how does that work? If I'm still learning what you do, like you said, ensembles, because when you think about, like, I don't know, I'm going back to the 90s, but that's
where I'm from. I'm not that young.
Yes, you are actually. But like, you get a record deal, you go on tour, you sell albums, you sell merch, stuff like that. With what you guys do, I see a lot of like intermixing between artists. You guys getting together and maybe mixing it up a little bit. From me being nosy on social media, I feel like I do a lot of gigs in a day, or y'all can do a lot of gigs in a day. It's very different from 80s bands, 90s bands going and getting record deals. How difficult is it for you to go and find work and get paid? Is it something where it's day to day? Is it something where it's more structured? Are you joining other groups? Are you doing multiple gigs with other groups during the day? How does all that work?
Yeah, I consider myself more of a freelancer or independent musician, because at least here, where I'm from here, so I'm more freelance here. I'm not with anybody. I have friends. I have friends of friends, and when they need somebody, they'll call me. If they need a rhythm, who sings, pretty much. When I was in Miami, I used to be with an actual group. I was like committed to a group, a jefe, a boss, and he would pick up gigs and he would separate them into different groups. So he would just send me with this group today and that group today.
Oh, so he was kind of like a manager
Yeah.
with the large group.
I didn't like enjoy that so much because sometimes you don't, you know, like know what you have. You don't know what you have tomorrow, or you don't know what you have next week, and you can't plan. But I love Miami. God. I think I went there too young. It's a place to retire.
How old were you?
I was like 23, 24. Yeah. But I was a man. That man had a lot of work. He had been there since 97, I think. So he had already built up a clientele, and he had that much work where I could just go and pretty much sell your life to him, sell your time. And it's cool because at the end of the day, it's not work really, you know, if you love what you do. But here, it's more like I have control of my time. I, you know, get to choose who I want to play with, and it's, how do I say it? It's a double-edged sword too, you know, because maybe I don't have anything on the books from 2 weeks now, you know, and I got to do something about that. Or
so it's not so much like it is in Miami where you don't have a main person distributing work to the group.
Yeah.
You like you said, it's a freelance thing where you're more in charge of what you do during the week or for the week.
That's why I really like the trio, because we, at least here, being here, because we're all from here, we're all from San Antonio, we all have people looking for mariachis. We all have people, you know, calling us because we've done it for a while already.
How long have y'all been a trio? And for everybody that's listening, Trio Ardiente.
Yes, Trio Ardiente.
In English, that's 3 flames?
Yeah, I guess
Ish.
so. Ardientes. It's hot.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just another word. I wish I could give you the actual definition, but
Who
I
came
don't
up with
butcher
that?
it. Amanda.
Did she
Amanda
really?
had it in her back pocket. It's Amanda's group. She's the one who, and it all came out, you know, very suddenly. Like somebody just asked her for a gig, so but they only wanted 3. Usually mariachis go at least like 4 or 5. You know, an actual mariachi ensemble is like 10 plus.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Nah, we just want a trio." But the thing is that when you get an ensemble of less people, amongst less people is more work. So that's why she was like, "I need to have you for sure, you know, because we work well together." And she's like, "I need somebody else, you know, who's stable on violin and who can also sing." So it's like singing is a must because it's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Why is that? Why is it a smaller group gets more work?
Lesser rates, I guess. Lower
gotcha.
rates. Sorry.
Okay.
I would think so. You know, and sometimes like I just work with people and I'm like, you're just here. You know, you're not. You might as well just go with the people that actually, you know, are trying to do their work, and you know, it works out. It works out because we all go and do our job, and everybody goes home well paid and not stressed out or not feeling like, you know, this person got paid the same and I sing all the songs.
Yeah.
It gets a little catty, obviously, like in any industry.
Well, I think in the arts, just in general, regardless of what your medium is, there is always a lot of competition because there's not a whole lot of top spots, you know? And so I think I've had friends that were painters, and I've always heard stories about other artists being super critical of their work. And me not being an artist, when I would talk to her, I'd tell her, "Hey, you got to keep in mind, they want the position you're going after as well. You know, it's almost like being a professional athlete. You know, they can only take so many, but there's so many artists. You know, and so I always would tell her, they're putting it in your ear that you're not good enough because you're good, but they want you to quit. You know, if they can cut you out, then maybe they get that show. Maybe they get that art gallery, you know?
Wow.
And so, not saying that you guys are in the same boat, but I would imagine there's only so many spots, you know? And there's so many people who are artists and I would imagine, I work in an engineering firm. I know what I'm going to get paid every 2 weeks, every month, whatever it may be. And so, for you guys, it's as many gigs as you get, type of gigs too, I'd imagine. But it's like, if you guys are getting all the gigs, you're going to end up with some jealous people, I'd imagine. I'd hate to think that, but I would be jealous. So
It's inevitable. It's inevitable, especially with what we're doing, because I mean, music just, it has to evolve. Mariachi itself has evolved. It's not just folk music. It's not just sones and corridos. It's, you know, they do banda songs. They're taking out banda songs, taking out English songs. And that's kind of just what we were doing. We were catering to the client, really, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of purists came for us like, you know, why are you doing this? Or why are you wearing this?
Yeah. So even down to the outfits.
But they don't pay us, so we're like, I don't give a shit what you think.
Well, you know what's funny is like even
as long as the client likes it, the client's always right.
Even into like country music, for example, or even rock or hip hop. You know, 20 or 30 years ago, if you listen to country music, you probably only listen to country music. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, everybody listens to everything,
and it's lovely.
Yeah.
And then we get new genres, you know, out of like what my dad's doing. You know, Tejano, country,
where are you at
rock or roll.
Where are you at on his accordion humping?
Oh man, I wish we weren't going to get into that.
You know what's funny?
No, he's awesome, man. Like him too. You know, he gets a lot of shit, and he's been doing it for over 40 years. So.
Well, I think people hate. I think the purists hate when you venture out, and part of me thinks they hate it because they didn't have the guts to do it. You know?
Yeah, or it's just not their style, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Like if it's not for you, then it's not for you. Don't come see us. Don't listen to us. Because in reality, San Antonio is so big. I mean, and it's growing so fast. There's enough work for everybody. There's a bunch of mariachi groups here, and all of them have different styles. All of them have different repertoire. All of them have different attire. You know, so I think everybody does get what they want eventually. You know, people who hire us, that's what they want. Or the people who hire the 10 group mariachis of just guys, that's what they want.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Do you think, in your opinion, do you think it's easier? Do you think people want to see an all-girl group, or do you think it's easier to get work as a guy, in your opinion?
That's tough. I think the guys are a little jealous.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just because in general we get a lot of attention just without even opening our mouths, you know, just the frilly tops.
Right. Well, I was telling you that earlier about y'all's look. Like, what you guys have put together is very, it's the total package, right? It's the sound, it's the look, it's the vibe that you give people, it's your attitudes when you're there, you know. You guys go from very loving and sweet to very, you know, and it's like, to me, like, not sounding in a creepy old dude way, but that's attractive. That look, the style, the performance, that's what people want to see when they're in that type of environment, like Mariachi Bar. Mm-hmm. You know, Nina we were talking the other night, that we were over there, and she's like, you know, I love our culture. And I said, you got to keep in mind. I said, yes, it's wonderful. I said, but this is the festive culture, right? This is the bar.
Machismo is very well and alive.
Yeah, I said, this is very, you know, with all the frills and everything hanging from the walls and the girls playing. And I said, this atmosphere, I said, it's almost perfect, you know, because being a small group, you guys maneuver through the bar, y'all play on the stairs, you know, it's fucking awesome. I mean, I couldn't find a better way to describe it.
It is, and the fact that they went and hired us for the month of March, and you know, for like Women's History Month and all that, it's awesome, man. Because I grew up in mariachi bar. You know, I grew up when the actual like 10-piece mariachi would go, and the place was packed. And the other side, the restaurant, Mi Tierra, is also just as packed. Yeah. And just, you know, craziness. Just, you know.
That's why I avoid it.
Yeah, yeah. But when you're like me, you gotta be in the the mix at least. You know, you don't have to get shit faced, but you gotta at least go and show face. And
now, about y'all drinks, do y'all typically have drinks when y'all go, or do you try and avoid it?
A mariachi bar? No. I think it's even a rule or they just prefer you not to drink. Obviously, people buy us drinks. Obviously, I don't say no because I feel like it's really rude. I've had a lot of situations where I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't want to drink, or I just don't drink at the moment, or because I will have a tolerance break because mariachi and tequila. They go together.
What does it do to your voice, though, the alcohol? Does it affect it negatively or no?
Oh, no. It does wonders.
Makes it better?
No, it depends. Like, it'll relax you. Like, sometimes I will. Like, if I'm feeling bad or something, this is, like, just an old, like, Mexican remedy, like, have a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
And then if sometimes I do have the time or, like, at the house, I'll prepare it with honey and lemon. My mom used to do that for me when I used to get a sore throat, actually. But then, like, there's, like, a breaking point where, like, you're too drunk to, like, control, because it's an instrument, it's a muscle at the end of the day, and you're supposed to use it correctly. And if you don't, well, you'll suffer the consequences. You know, you won't sing the same tomorrow. But mainly it's just rest. As long as I get, like, sleep, that's, like, the key to singing. You gotta sleep.
How many days do you need? Or can you do it back to back?
In Miami, I worked every day.
Really?
Like, every day. Like,
Jeez,
I would
they
have
that
to
much
ask.
work?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's because also the mariachi that I worked with out there was the only Mexican mariachi. In Florida,
everybody's Cuban and Dominican, right?
Yeah, there was Cuban mariachis, there was Colombian mariachis, Venezuelan mariachis, and it was crazy, yeah, because obviously you could tell a difference because, you know, mariachi comes from Mexico. So I guess I didn't realize how privileged I actually was being so close to the border and, like, having that exposure of, like, what it really is or what it's really supposed to sound like. And the group
so
that I was working with,
were they doing their own style, or were they trying to copy Mexican mariachi?
I feel like the Colombians do, like, a really good job of it, of because they're very good musicians. Not to dog on anybody else, but they do say that, like, it's like something that you have to have in, like, your blood or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I didn't come from mariachis, obviously, you know that. So I think it is something that maybe you can learn, but you gotta really immerse yourself into it.
That's cool.
And you gotta learn. You gotta learn from, like, I think mainly too is learning, like, how would you say that? Kind of like how you hand down clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like that. It's in reality, mariachi is a tradition.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, you're not like a mariachi de verdad. If your dad wasn't mariachi, your grandpa was mariachi, your great grandpa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Those are, like, the real, like, OGs.
So if they hate your dad, they hate you then.
Pretty much. Oh God! Imagine how many haters I have. Nah, I'm just kidding. My dad
I'm
don't got
joking.
no haters.
He's popular. He smiles at everybody, and then he dry humps that accordion. So
he has a good technique. The smile and wave.
Yeah.
Smile and wave.
Well,
because it's at the end of the day, people are gonna hate. You're gonna have fans. You're gonna have haters. You're putting yourself out there for that.
Well, you know, the other thing you guys are doing is you're invoking a feeling in people, even if it's for an hour, even if it's for 20 minutes. You know, it's that feeling of it may be different from what they heard when they were kids, but, you know, my grandma loved that song, my grandfather loved that song, and it, like you talked about earlier, it being the tradition of continuing playing those songs. You know, it invokes that feeling of when you were younger, or a celebration, because it's typically a celebration. You know, even if it's a funeral, it's still a celebration. Yep. But, you know, I think you invoke that feeling in people, and it's crazy because we talked about artists in general, but I think that musician, that person who plays the guitar or the instrument player, it's a different form of art that invokes a different feeling in people, because you can take people somewhere that they haven't been in a long time, or maybe that they've never been, which is different than what a sculptor can do, or a painter, or, you know, whatever other medium there is. You know, that music really does. We hear it very young. You know, when we're kids, our mothers play us songs, or our dads play us songs, and so when it almost ends up being something that gets into us very young, and then we're no longer exposed to it, and then we hear that song somewhere and we go, oh my God, that was this feeling. You know, it's not necessarily that's that song, that's that feeling that I had when I heard it when I was a kid. So that's special that you guys can do that. I think it's amazing.
Oh, it's lovely. I love that when somebody asks me, or even when they stump me, like, oh man, let me try it. I'm always down to try it.
Have they stumped you before?
Oh yeah, definitely, all the time. It's never ending. Like, that's the lovely thing about music too. You can have a whole lifetime of it, and you won't hit a roof.
Have you had to tell anybody no?
Something. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like when there's just songs that I know are too hard. If it's something that I know, like, if I can play it on the guitar and I can sing it, I'll be like, okay, let's do it. Or I'll look to Amanda. Usually, the cool thing about with Amanda and Wendy, the other girl that participated in the trio, we grew up with the same. Well, we grew up here, and we grew up with the same schooling. We played the same gigs, or grew up with the same around the same people. So sometimes when I'll be like, oh, do you remember this? Kind of goes like this, and then this, and then you're like, okay, let me sing this. Yeah, okay, let's try it.
I feel like I saw you do that once or twice the other night.
Oh yeah, especially in that environment, in that talon environment. That's what I learned it as. It's when you go around the tables and take requests. Really.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different type of discipline. That's like a whole another side of music. Like, I guess a street musician type.
Gotcha.
But I feel like you just learn so much more that way.
Yeah.
And even if I mess up, I'm like, well, at least I did it. I'm going to do it better the next time.
Yeah. I'd imagine sometimes I think of, I always kind of use the phrase like using a toolbox, right? You've got so many things that you've learned, so many different songs that you can pull from. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to, I guess, have the courage a little bit to take a chance on it. And if you miss, hey, you took a shot, but it's something you can work on later.
Exactly what you're saying, honing your craft.
Yeah.
If it's not going to come out this time, it'll come out the 100th time.
What's your favorite song to play?
Oh, God. Today, this week, I've been really obsessed with that song, Siempre Hace Frío. Have you heard of that song? I haven't. It's like a Selena one. It's an old ranchera. I heard Steve Jordan do it. He's an accordion player, like jazzy accordion player. He's from McAllen, I think. He did crazy wonders for Tejano music.
Really?
Me personally, he's definitely, because he's not only a singer, but he's like my father. He is also accompanied by his accordion, and he plays the hell out of his accordion. But he made a version. Tejanos have a lot of versions of Mexican songs. So Siempre Hace Frío is really a ranchera. And he put in a polka because Texans love to dance.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Selena did so many things in polka and cumbia.
Oh, really?
There's some of them are old songs, but she put them in her own style, same as he did, just because we like to dance. We always put it in a dance rhythm.
My mind was blown when I was, I told you earlier how when you grew up in Live Oak County, you didn't leave Live Oak County. And so when I first moved to San Antonio and was kind of exposed to like the New Braunfels area and the German culture, I grew up ignorant, right? So that's when it clicked that polka style didn't belong to Mexico. It was a German thing, and it was really mind blowing. And now, like, I can't hear Spanish songs without thinking about German music, or German music without thinking about Spanish music. And it's so great that made that transition, because I think that accordion, that polka style, that sound goes so well with Spanish music. It's so good. And maybe it's because we've been around it forever, but I couldn't imagine not having that genre. It's so pretty. So
it's awesome. I love it. I find it. I was analyzing it the other day because in New York and in Miami, I feel like salsa is a lot more popular over there, just around the world in general.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what people do with salsa. Some of the salsa songs are so,
is that Spanish salsa, or where does that come from?
I think salsa comes from like the islands, more like Puerto Rico. God, you're gonna hate me because of my ignorance, but everybody does salsa in their own way. But I believe that like the salsa that we know was born in like New York in the 80s with like Hector Lavoe and.
Would that have come from like maybe Cuba
Willie
or something?
Collin. Cubans have their way of doing it. Colombians have their way of doing it. Venezuelans have their way of doing it. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their their way of doing salsa. But mostly the lyrics to salsa music are sad lyrics.
I love sad music.
But they put it to that beat where you can dance with it, and it's something beautiful that I think is that we should do more. That we should dance more. Yeah. I feel like dance is very much like a release of emotions.
I need to learn how to dance.
You got to.
I need to learn how to clap too. The other day you were playing. I don't know if you even had mariachi bar the other day. I was sitting there, and I felt obnoxious because I would clap longer than everybody else, but it was because I don't know if it's fat hands or what it is, but I can't get a sound out of it. It sounds like two pillows hitting each other. It's terrible. You spend a lot of time working late.
I do.
Bars and restaurants and things of that nature. What's some of the rowdiest stuff you've seen?
Rowdiest stuff.
Or is everybody pretty sweet and tame? I'd imagine after some drinks you're going to see something rowdy.
Yeah.
Have you had to punch anybody in the throat?
Obviously, like being a girl, like sometimes people will get a little weird, but I think over the years I've learned how to maneuver it, like just like little subtle things, moving to a side or, oh yeah, go over there. Like, I'm sorry, you're calling me, I got a phone call. I feel like my first job, I guess like my first real job, I worked at Mi Tierra, and I worked at, they put me at the cash register right there at the bakery, and I would do night shift because I do graveyard shift. I go on at midnight. I think there was when I saw the most crazy stuff, because if you go into Mi Tierra, the bakery, if you're facing the bakery, right to the other side is the bar entrance. So I'd see so many people, like getting taken out, or even the people, because, back then it used to be open 24 hours, just the people after concerts, the big crowd, or even the artists going, to eat there and stuff. But yeah, people get crazy. Yeah, like around like 2 o'clock, like after I like had some bread and stuff, like watch the show.
Yeah, they always say nothing good happens after midnight. So I'm usually in bed by 9 o'clock.
I noticed that, yeah. Like all like my hard conversations, I'm like, I need to have these in the daytime when the sun is out. And, yeah.
What time do you wake up in the mornings? You get up pretty early.
I do now because I'm trying to make the habit, trying to make healthier choices. So I try to like go and like get my run out of the way. I like running. I've been running for a little while.
Is that when you rehearse too? During the day, in the morning?
No, we actually do like in the evening time, like around 7. Yeah, mostly people work day jobs actually. I think Amanda has her day job. Wendy is a full-time musician, so.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
sometimes we'll get, what weirdest thing about San Antonio, and I love it because I'll miss it too, is the funerals, the tradition of the funeral serenata.
Yeah.
I love, I get so emotional, so emotional. So if you see me at a funeral crying, just leave me be. But I think it's so beautiful. And at least the places that I've been, places that I've traveled to, people don't really have that tradition.
Really?
The whole final serenata.
It's more of kind of, you think it's like a South Texas kind of thing?
It has to be. It definitely, I come from Mexico, I'm guessing, because they do, funeral serenades over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's beautiful. Like, just your last hurrah.
Yeah. Are they playing?
Literally just in the ground, puño de tierra.
What are they playing at your funeral?
At my funeral, oh man, it's going to be a whole jam.
I already got a mixtape. I've already given a mixtape to Nina.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody come in white. Everybody be prepared. Don't come in a car. Come in an Uber. No, I like everything, and I think that's cool because like at the funerals, sometimes you don't even play sad songs. The usual funeral is like, despedida con mariachi, puño de tierra, cruz de madera, what have you, rinconcito en el cielo. But sometimes people just ask for like the randomest stuff. You're like, yeah, sure, if that's what your mom liked, or I have a friend who I was doing some recordings with him. He has his own studio. His brother died and he wrote a song for him.
Was that the gentleman that you recorded with that one time?
Yes, yeah, you met him, He wrote, that's how I met him. I saw a video of him singing to his brother, who was a good friend of mine, David Villarreal. He played trumpet. They're in Mariachi Bar, actually. He has a picture up there. I'll show it to you. He was really awesome. He reminded me so much of my grandpa. But yeah, his brother wrote a song for him. And I was like, man, that's like the best gift that you can give to somebody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then he actually sang it for him at his funeral. I was amazed.
Really?
I was in tears. I was like, wow,
that's gotta be strong of him to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was his way of just getting through it too. Because he's he writes many songs. He's a songwriter, so
yeah,
I'm sure it was a process for him.
One thing that Nina, and not that we probably shouldn't be doing it either, but I feel like the whole funeral process, we're very detached from it, right? Somebody dies, they go to the funeral home does everything, and you go sit there and you pay your respects and you go home. When my brother passed away, he was cremated. So I built the box that we put him in. My dad and a buddy went and dug a hole where we buried him with grandma. So they dug the hole. And it was funny because Nina was kind of blown away by it because she's like, what are y'all doing? I was like, it's small town people stuff, right? But it was nice. And we even did that for my dad's cousin as well. But it's nice when you take part in the process.
You're right.
Because it really does help. It really does help to do something that's part of burying a loved one. Whether it's writing a song, building the box you're putting them in, digging the hole, covering them up. We did everything ourselves. And it was interesting because I think that helped with the healing process, I think. So,
most definitely.
Yeah, it was.
That's beautiful.
I have a coach back in the day, Coach Campbell, country guy, and that guy was the shit. When he died, they buried him in a pine box that he built, and he actually wood burned Western scenes all the way around it. I think it had some horseshoes for handles, and
That's so awesome.
Built it himself. And it was like they buried him in it, and I thought that was amazing. But anyway,
that's
pretty
cool. That is really cool.
You know what they're playing at my funeral?
What are they playing?
Guess.
We Will Rock You.
No, but I'll add it. Guitars and Cadillacs by Dwight Yoakam.
Okay.
I love that song. I'll have to play for you later. Have you ever heard it?
I think so. Is it the
Oh,
ones...
girl. If you've heard it, you've heard it.
No. I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah, I'll butcher it too. I'll play for you later.
Yeah,
I'll play for you
I don't want to embarrass myself. Not yet.
So, you have been spending time in New York.
I have.
And you won a competition.
I won third place, actually.
What was that?
Yeah, I won third place. It was just a concurso, a competition. Yeah.
Different genres, or were you in a genre?
No, it wasn't genres. It was just like singing competition.
Okay.
I just saw an ad for it, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I should do it, right? I should do it, like just to, because I'm very, very against competing. Like anybody who actually knows me, I do not think music is a competition. I think everybody has their way of interpreting it. Yes, some are better than others. I won't deny that. But I really do think it is an interpretation. It is art. It shouldn't be judged with first, second, third.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my colleagues, they actually like here in Texas, mariachi is like, they have competitions and stuff. And I mean, it's cool. It does have its pros, but me, I'm just not a competition person. So I just thought I'd do it. I'm like, why not? And I saw my friend had signed up, so I was just like, at least I'll know somebody there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, because this friend is awesome. He has a band in New York.
Is this your special friend?
No.
Okay.
He is a special friend, but
all my friends are special.
No. He just had like a newborn and has a beautiful wife, and
Awesome.
he was singing there, and I thought he was gonna win. Like I was like, if anything, I'll just sing a little song and clap for him when he wins because he's a really good singer.
Yeah.
So, but no, he ended up not even placing, and I was like, what the hell? We were all mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up placing third.
What song did you sing?
I sang a song called Mi Talisman. A talisman.
With a guitar or no guitar?
No, that's the thing. I'm like a real, that was another, I did the competition, to do something different.
Yeah.
I almost never sing with like a background, like a recording.
Oh, gotcha.
Or like a karaoke.
Like a track
piece.
type?
Yeah, a track. There we go. That'd be better. So it's just a different vibe, like it's not as energetic as what I'm used to. So it was definitely a challenge, like just being up there by myself. Yeah, it was cool though. It was a good experience. I
and the exposure's got to help a little bit, huh?
Yeah. People started calling me. Obviously, they were like, "Hey, I saw you in the thing," and a lot of people. They want me to go back and do another one. On
the show, the competition.
The competition,
Gotcha.
yeah. They wanted me to do another, but I was like, no, I think I'm gonna go home for a little bit. I liked it. Yeah, I don't think maybe I'll do it again.
Well, I get your point on the competition thing, but I think also it's a lack of a better way to give exposure to artists, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was just kind of like a gamble, you know, because I think that the winner won like a whole production, like a song they would record for you, like professionally, like
gotcha.
you know, in a studio that would usually cost you like, you know, $5,000 to record. They were gonna do it, whatever song you wanted for free. So, yeah, I just thought I had never did like the cantante thing, like the singer thing. I've always been with my guitar, like this is my safe space.
Yeah.
So without it, it was definitely different. It was hard, like grabbing the using the space and using the stage. Yeah, it's something that I'm getting better at.
That's got to be a good experience, though. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I told you that the other day I don't really go anywhere, so I like to live in my comfort zone, which isn't a good thing. But I guess when you're an artist and you're super comfortable in San Antonio, right? Because you've kind of seen it all, you've done it all. But
No, not even.
You don't think so?
I haven't seen it all or done it all. Definitely not. But but I am definitely like more comfortable here. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just like, well, why not? You know.
What do you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Oh.
Or
Maybe
I'm sure.
maybe something outside of mariachi. Like you
Okay.
know, like I do like trio and stuff. Obviously, like I sing like, you know, like romantic boleros with, you know, like guitars. But I think the next thing is like, I didn't realize how Texan I was until I left Texas. And everybody's like, tell me something Texan. I'm like, everything's bigger in Texas.
Hey, howdy, y'all. My
I
buddy
didn't
Joey.
realize, I didn't realize my accent or anything. People were like looking at me crazy, or I definitely found like a lot of clashes, and I think that is something that I want to get into now, maybe because my father just got a position with Texas Folklife.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And that's like, and you know, mariachi is what I do, and obviously my father doesn't do that, but I do come. Everybody always asks me if I come from a line of musicians, but they're not mariachis, and that's always like, wow, weird.
Yeah.
But I do want to get to know more of like the conjunto, the tejano. I mean, obviously, like I know a little bit of it, but I'd like to more like hone it exactly,
Yeah.
like really get into it, because it's not just, you know, like it's definitely in my blood. You know, it's not just my father doing it. You know, like my grandfather also.
That's
was
right,
like
he
a
played.
he like there's people that I'll run into that know him. You know, that still talk about him. So I think it'd be really cool to do something like that, maybe with like a bajo and, you know, an accordion, something different. I just like singing, so I don't care what I sing. I just want to sing everything. I want to do everything. I want to like. I started singing English in New York, and that was like, I think that was scarier than the competition.
Really?
Yeah.
What songs were you singing?
That was the hardest thing, because the guy that I was with, you know, we had to kind of figure out, because he's from a whole different world of musicians, because he plays keyboard and, you know, I play acoustic guitar. So he would like put out, he was like, oh, do you have this song by Mariah Carey or this one from Alicia Keys? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. Let me see, you know, let me just look at the lyrics real quick, see, you know.
Jewel, girlfriend. You got to start singing some Jewel.
Oh my God.
That Who Will Save Your Soul. I think you would kill it.
What did he had me sing one that I had never. Na, 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 na.
Oh.
He was like, just sing that one. It's so easy. I'm
That's
like, I
Stevie
think so.
Nicks.
Yeah. That was like really stumping me. I was like, but it was fun.
You get
because
nervous?
I was like, oh yeah, I get way nervous. I'm way more nervous singing in English than Spanish.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I talk a lot of shit about people. I've never done it toward
No,
you. Never done it
you?
toward you. But it's funny because like I am an untalented person, right? We just had that conversation. But like I feel like there's some songs that you can't cover. Not you, just in general.
No.
You know?
Definitely me too, because I don't know which one I sang, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that ever again. Like,
I've seen
that is
people-
a hard ass song.
Yeah, and I've seen people like try and cover Bob Marley, and it's like leave Bob Marley alone.
You know what? It would really grind my gears when people cover Selena. And it's not that I don't love Selena, you know, because I cover Selena all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that get on the stage and they just, como la flor, just there.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're singing a Selena song. You better shake your ass
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Because Selena just didn't just sing those songs. You know, I consider her, like my father, like an entertainer. She was just she didn't just sing good, you know, she danced her ass off. She was interactive with the crowd. Mm-hmm. So I always think it's like such a fail, and I'm like, oh, why'd you pick that song?
Well, you know, that's
why you just standing there?
yes. I mean, that's the thing that like when I first met your dad, my buddy was telling me about him. He's like, hey, you need to talk to him. So I reached out to him.
Who's your buddy?
Joey. He has the cap hat and cap place down in George West. He makes caps and stuff. I was gonna tell you I need to get you Howdy Putos the next time you go to New York.
That.
So he's good at that stuff. But so I looked him up. I looked your dad up, and then before I reached out to him, and stage presence, right? I mean, you forget. This is me.
He's so short. He can't be much taller than I.
You know what? He's tall in his own way.
He is 10 feet tall.
His attitude is 10 feet tall.
Oh, God. His ego is take up this room.
But you know, it's funny because I think, like, I see a lot of young people, and I know a lot of people from back home that are musicians now, right? And they're doing small stuff, you know, locally. And I see the passion in their singing and some of their songwriting. But secretly, I want to go, that's awesome, but it's not enough, right? If you go out there and you look, you can find a lot of people can sing, but who's gonna put on a show?
That's what people want. They
People want.
They want to be entertained.
And that's part of the gig, right? Entertainment. So
it's and I always have this conversation with my dad because we're like, music is so complex because not only do you have to, you know, hone the craft, right, of playing the music, it's also, you know, networking and putting your music out there and having the charisma on stage and stuff like that, or even to the social media part of it. Like some people that have jobs just specifically to manage somebody, that's a whole nother job than being a musician. Yeah, it's
like even with
it's
this,
not for the weak.
Even with like the podcast stuff, like I'm always doing something with it, and it's funny because I catch myself going. And I don't do it as much as everybody else, but I catch myself at times going, dude, don't record anything today. Just go chill out and have fun and hang out with friends or hang out with family. You don't have to record it all. But if I talk to your dad, he's going to say, you need to record it all.
Dude, he is a machine.
He's a machine.
Like, he is... I'm really, really happy that he... You know, I think he's even like up for promotion already. He just got hired. He's really up for promotion. Yeah. Because he's really good at what he does, you know. And then the position that he has now, I was just telling him when I saw him for my birthday last week, I was like, I think it's really cool because a lot of people will have your position of, you know, like managing artists or putting together events and things, but they don't have the experience of knowing what it is to be an artist and the time that it takes or what you can and cannot do, do's and don'ts. And he knows all that because
he's done it for so long.
He's done that for so long. And he's done it for, besides himself, he's done it for other people too. And yeah.
And I think with his experience, I think one thing that he does really well, and it probably took him a while to get here. If we asked him, he'd say no, he did it instantly. But I think he's really good.
We're going to bring him on next time so he can defend himself.
I think he's really good at selling Sonny. You know, and you have to be able to sell yourself.
I love you some Sonny.
Yeah, and I think people are good at selling themselves. I was going to ask you.
He is, man. He should have sold houses or Mercedes.
Well, I saw him online doing something where he was getting those certificates.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I don't know where he finds the time.
Have y'all ever recorded anything together?
Actually, no. I'm actually not a big recorder.
No?
I'm very much like
live.
Alive, yeah. But I do want to. We've talked about it a bunch. We always talk about it. We always jam, you know, like just the other day I was over there, he was like, I can't tune my guitar, it doesn't stay in tune. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a new guitar. So I went and grabbed it. And then, we were just like messing around with some chords, and then he started singing something, and then I went into something else. And we jam a lot. I'm like you, like I really live in the moment, you know, and just enjoy the present, that I'll, you know, forget like, hey, we should get in the studio and do this. Like actually doing things. I mean, how long have we been talking about doing this, right?
It's been a while.
It's been like almost
but you're busy.
Year.
This is the other thing too, is like when I'm available, which is the weekends, is when you guys are making money, you know?
Yeah, usually.
So that's kind of the odd thing there. Like I've did a...
It's the same thing with my father. He's like always busy. Like...
Well, when we first recorded that Let's Hear It TX, I didn't realize a musician's schedule in comparison to Gabe's schedule. You know, I think I did a podcast also with Mark Martinez with Freddie Records in Corpus, and so we've stayed in contact, and we've talked about doing things together. I just really need to be more disciplined in a schedule because, like I said, you know, I'm available typically Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You know, well, shit, that's when you guys are making money. That's when you are doing shows or traveling, and so it kind of turned into one of those things where I was like, well, geez, what do I do now? You know, how do I fix this? Well, I need to be available on days that are a little more difficult to be available. Mm-hmm. But today I called in, so.
We'll cut that out.
No, we're leaving it in. And you know what's funny is like, going back to your dad, I remember him saying after we did the first the podcast together, he said, "You really got to hear my daughter." And all I heard was some old man telling me to listen to his baby girl sing. And I'm like, yeah, everybody's baby girl can sing. And, you know, it was like the coach's kid, you know, the coach pushing his kid, hey, you know, let my kid pitch. But then I went across, I think you had a video. I don't know if you're still on TikTok, but you had a little video on TikTok. And so I was like, let me see. And like I was irritated, right? And then I think I played it. I was watching 90 Day Fiancé, and I was like, yeah, it's commercial. Let me see what she's got. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, my God, she's really good. So then I felt like an idiot. But I was telling you before, when you guys came in to record the first time, you played something that I'm going to drag you into playing later on. But you played a song just warming up. I think I was trying to figure out the levels of audio or whatever. And just with your guitar and your voice, you're singing at a lower level, slower. Man, I forgot what song it was. Anyway, it was funny because there was another gentleman off to my left, Jeremy Jacobs with Evolve. And I looked at him, he looks at me, and we were watery-eyed, you know? And it was funny because, like, as dudes, we don't... I think as we get older, we get more emotional, right? But it was so funny because my Spanish is terrible. So did I know everything you were saying? No, not exactly. But like you said earlier, the sound, you know, the emotion that it invoked was heavy, you know. And I was like, I looked at Jeremy, he looked at me, and we were just both like, So I mean, I just love when you're exposed to somebody who can force you to do something you don't want to do. And in that case, it was cry. We didn't want to cry, but we didn't have a choice. You know, it was your talent, it was your guitar playing, it was your voice, and it just does something to people, you know. And so, like I said earlier, you know, you have a shit-eating grin on my face when you're playing because I don't know what else to do with myself. You know, it's just very, very. You're very talented. So
thank you. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Yeah. I didn't even know you were recording. You were just like, all right, let me check these levels.
Oh, I was so glad I recorded.
Just messing around and stuff. I was like, I didn't even know if I'm playing the right chords in that one.
Do you and Mandy have such different voices? Yeah. Do you guys intermingle songs, or is there certain songs that she plays only because she's got what are you, like more of a bassy voice?
All of us kind of have the same range, and that's actually where we're kind of hitting some.
What do you mean by range? What is range?
Range is just a range of how low and how high you can sing.
Okay.
So we kind of all are sopranos in that area,
okay,
which is what a normal young lady's voice is at.
Especially
like our stature.
Or is it higher?
Yeah, they're always high.
Okay. So what's the other one when it's deep?
There's ladies who are altos.
Okay.
Contraltos. That's like what Lucha Villa and Lola Beltran, like real people who kind of made mariachi, at least the women. They were always women with like lower voices.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of figuring out because, you know, the trio, we want to do the three voices. and it's kind of hard for somebody to get down there. Usually I put Amanda on it because I feel like she's the closest one. She doesn't have a lower voice than either of us.
I feel like she does a pretty good job.
But exactly.
It's
and
like
she
a
has her
bassy
bass
sound?
right there.
Yeah.
So like it's just more convenient for her to do it because she's on bass. She already has the note kind of where she's going.
Oh, gotcha.
But it is hard to project in those lower tones because it's not really where our voice naturally sits. But it's fun. It's definitely a challenge figuring out that. The cool thing is that we kind of, like I said, we all kind of grew up together, so we have the same repertoire. So maybe if they ask for Tu Solo Tu and I sing it, all of us know it though, you know, and then they ask for Los Laureles. Well, Amanda's going to sing it because Wendy's going to sing the next song that they asked for, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's also when it works out like that because the work is not just on one person, you know. But some of us also, like, you know, like there's songs like Wendy tried to take out Blue Bayou the other day, and she was like, I cannot sing that in that key. She's like,
really?
We're going to need to change it. And I was like, yeah, you can. She was like, no, I don't want to. And I was like, you don't have to. Or there's some songs like the other day that they asked Wendy, I was like, I don't know that song. Do you remember that song? She was like, yeah, I got it. So it's kind of cool. Amanda, too, she'll have like this random old Jose Alfredo repertoire. And I'm like, how do you remember that?
Really?
But yeah, she's like, but it's the music that she likes, you know. We all kind of have our gustos. So, you know, sometimes like, yeah, there are certain things that I will do or that Wendy likes to do or that we know Amanda wants to do. So.
I love when you sing Blue Bayou.
Everybody loves that one. And you know, it's so funny. It wasn't even like a I'm going to take out that song. It's going to be awesome. We were brainstorming on what we were going to play at that damn bar because the first gig that we got was at the bar. I don't know if you ever had made it out there to Blaine's bar. I think I invited you, but it didn't go on for very long.
Yeah.
Because
that looked like a nice venue.
It was cool. It just keeps on changing. So it obviously didn't work out. But when we were playing there, they really wanted like the alternate mariachi. They wanted kind of like mostly the show, like half the show in English and the other like Tejano, not even mariachi. Like, so we were like brainstorming one day and we were like, well, why don't we do, I think I had just saw that movie that it comes out in, the one with Denzel Washington. What is that called?
Oh, is it
the little girl?
Yes, Man on Fire.
Yes.
Such a good movie.
I had saw that movie recently, and I was like, oh, that's Linda Ronstadt. And I was like, why don't we just take that out? It's Linda Ronstadt.
Wasn't she half Mexican?
Yeah, Linda Ronstadt was half Mexican. I think Mexican and German. Actually, I just watched her documentary. My voice teacher from New York sent it to me.
Really?
He was like, you have to watch this. I was like, yeah, watch it immediately because he's amazing. He's amazing. Everything he sends me, I'm like, immediately. But yeah, her documentary is really awesome. I really recommend it. I'm going to shoot that to you because it's not even long either. It's like an hour maybe. But yeah, we're just blowing it out. I was like, yeah, it checks the boxes. Linda Ronstadt. People love it because people love Linda Ronstadt here.
Sure.
Checks off the box for country, checks off the box for English. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then when we were taking it out, I didn't realize that it was the key lower. And I was like, oh, I thought it was in, I thought it was in the key of C. And it was really in the key of B. It's just one lower. So I think that also why is it has like a very big impact. It just took it up a key. And even when you just change one key, it really changes the feel of the song. Yeah.
Well, when you started singing it, when y'all started playing it, I've heard it at a couple of different places.
But I love it. People actually like come and like ask for the name, like by name. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, when y'all do it, I start getting giddy because in the back of my mind, I hear myself going, she's fixing to hit these motherfuckers across the face with a baseball bat, and they don't even know it. And when you start singing it, I think you were in Bernie a while back at a restaurant. Me and my friend Racy had gone to see y'all play. And, it's gotta be difficult for you guys because sometimes when you get invited to go play at a Mexican restaurant on a Sunday during the church group, getting out of work or out of church to go eat, people are with their families, they're talking, they're having a meal, and you guys are performing, and like, I know what you guys are capable of. So I'm sitting around, looking around, I'm like, these motherfuckers need to pay attention, but
and I love that you do that everywhere we go. Like you're like, I know it, and I love it because like our hits and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're like, I know, and you know how to read a room. So you go and you're like, I know exactly what. And then you ask me for that one, and I'm like, You really read a room well.
Well, you know, when you in Bernie that day, you did it twice, I think, and it was funny because when you did Blue Bayou, the first time I noticed everybody stopped. You know, everybody stopped their conversation. They stopped eating because when you hit the higher part, you know, it's baseball back to the face, you know. And I think when we were leaving, you were in the backside of the restaurant singing it again, and I just love it because you do such a good job of it.
This is a really great song.
It's a great song. You do it justice. You do a great job. But that's another one of those songs where the listener no longer has control of what they're doing. You took control from them. You know,
exactly
with your guitar and with your voice, you took control. And it's funny because that goes back to what I was saying earlier, how you can walk into a room and with the skills that you have and the guitar in your hand, you can kind of dictate what people do, you know. And I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great.
Not maybe dictate, but like definitely like swerve them, you know, into the right direction or what we could do, or, you know, because sometimes people ask us things and I'm like, we can do it, but it's not going to sound good, or, you know, and I'll also try to suggest something else. And it's also just knowing like what you can do and like what the girls can do and
your strengths,
yeah, and weaknesses, you know, like exactly. Like when they'll ask me for things, you know, they ask me for tequila con limon. There's a song called Tequila and Limon, and it's a very traditional mariachi song, but I just never taken it out, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna butcher that. I'm like, how about this one? I'll change you one, raise you this.
That's awesome. What was that song you played the other night? I think it was about a place. I forgot what you said. It was about I guess maybe a bar or a restaurant or something like that. What was it called? I can't sing it because I know I'll ruin it.
Noah.
Noah.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't heard that one
crazy
before.
For that one.
Really?
Yeah,
Has that been around a long time? That song?
That one was written by Juan Gabriel.
Oh, okay.
And Juan Gabriel is like just the topsies for me. He's a type of writer that can write songs like that. You know, it's very jumpy and, you know, good vibes, you know, really like clubby. Yeah. And No was supposedly a club that he would go to in Juarez. So that's why it's like, este es un lugar ambiente. This is a great place, and how everything's different, and you can dance the whole night away here.
Yeah.
And then he can write things like La Diferencia, which is just a really, it's not a ballad because it's like a ranchera, you know, very lenta, very slow.
Yeah. And
he's talking about the difference between him and a lover. You know, the difference is that if I was in your shoes, I would have loved me right. And, you know, and he's just very, very emotional. And he just has the right words. And him, too, he was a really, really good singer. That, too, sometimes, like, people who write songs and they're interpreted maybe a little better by somebody else because maybe they're a better singer, you know, or something. But he's just like the topsies. Like no. He wrote them. He sang the hell out of them too. He kind of like placed a standard, you know, like this is how it's supposed to be done. And then after that, he helped, you know, other people accomplish that. He, you know, helped other people, other female artists. Aida Cuevas, very famous mariachi singer. She has a newer one, I guess, and he even recorded stuff with Lucha Villa and Lola Beltran. You know, he was very amazing. But that song always hits. What song makes you emotional when you sing it? Man, all of them. I mean, because that's what I try to do, you know. Obviously, some hit more, especially like Blue Bayou. Mm-hmm. You know, especially like when I never sing it when I'm not here for some reason. But I definitely love that song. Because it's just talking about going home, you know? I guess because I'm like I love my home, you know, like I love my home, but I'm in love with, you know, the ambience of Miami or the opportunities of New York.
Sure.
But really, really, this is who I am.
Yeah.
I am from here. And you can just tell by the repertoire that I have too, and I just love it here. So I think mainly, you know, another winter day has come and gone away. I love the songs about going home, actually. I get real homesick.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When I'm out there and, like, on the East Coast, I come back, like, every 4 or 5 months. I do not go much time. I get real homesick.
When you went to New York, I was like, she's never coming back because you were posting pictures, and it's beautiful. I never want to go.
It's beautiful from the skyline. There's a lot of trash on the floor.
Oh, gotcha. I don't. I have friends of mine that are like they want to go to New York or for New Year's. I have no desire to go to New York. I need grass and trees and elbow room.
No, believe me, we're like on the same page. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I get real homesick. And the cool thing about my partner is like he's awesome. Like whenever I want to go home, like just like, okay, when are you going?
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about it. He's just like, because he knows like what I need.
Yeah.
He knows that I need to be with my grandma or I need to go to breakfast and jam out.
Is kind of New York his main place, or does he like coming to San Antonio?
He likes coming to San Antonio too.
Okay.
He likes it all around. He likes wherever the work is.
Yeah.
He's like, if there's work, I'm good.
Is there more work in New York than down here?
There's a lot more work.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's
he's really talented. I've heard him sing too on like Instagram.
He's awesome. He's awesome. And I think that's what it is too. We're kind of like addicted to like, because here, not that we're like average Joes, but we are. You know, like I'm from here. He's from Guadalajara. There's a lot of people from Mexico from here.
Oh, gotcha.
You know that. So it's not like that we didn't like have something else to offer, but obviously we're more rare over there.
Oh, gotcha.
And then also it's a bigger city. There's more movement. There's more gigs, obviously, because there's more people.
Yeah.
You know. So don't get me wrong, though. San Antonio is growing a lot. There's a lot of full-time musicians here. But what I noticed a lot is that a lot of the musicians that I work with, they have, you know, jobs. They have jobs in the week or
kind of supplement the income kind of thing.
The majority of them are educators. And I didn't go to college, so I don't have that to fall back on, unfortunately.
Is that a bad thing though, realistically? Because I feel like
sometimes I mean, because I have friends that did go, and I'll ask them, was it worth it? And I'm like, no, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Because I do agree that there are things that cannot be learned in a classroom.
Right.
Definitely, especially in my line of work. So
Yeah.
I think we learn a lot actually from each other, because I will teach him like. He's actually growing his English repertoire. You know, so the other day he sang me Cuando Cuando. I don't know if you ever heard that one from Michael Bublé.
Oh,
Tell me when
may have.
will you be mine.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah, so it's awesome. You know, because he'll help me with, you know, mariachi stuff too.
Yeah.
It's a great exchange.
I think the formal education is always important because it kind of gives you a basis.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, and I'll say it for myself, not that I have real formal education, but I tend to.
But you did go to school, right?
A little bit.
And did it help you with your job?
No. Honestly, my job for the schooling that I went for, I learned more in 2 weeks
On the job
with some guys in Corpus than I ever did in college.
I think maybe like the degree, I heard somebody say it, that it doesn't matter like what you go for. It's just to show an employer that you committed to something for 4 years.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's the case too, because a lot of people go get jobs in fields that they didn't go to school for. The other day I did a podcast with a couple of guys, and one of them's a doctor. The other one is a professional strongman. And we were talking about one of the guys who's a trainer at the gym. And it's funny because I forgot what it was. We weren't making fun of him, but the topic came up how he's the most popular trainer at the gym and he has no formal education, you know? But it's like I told the guys, I said, this guy lives at the gym. You know, he's there all the time. And at the very minimum, he's at least observing human movement, right? Which is what you do there. People move, it's exercise, but he's observing good and bad movement, you know? And so he's able to do certain exercises that strengthen that person so their movements get better. So, I mean, it's the same sort of thing. You know, you can either go to college and get a degree in it, or you can spend every night, you know, doing gigs. And it's like, where does that real learning come from? You know, you go to college so you can go get the job to do for however many years you're going to work. But when you're already doing the work and you're exposed to everything that you're not even going to get exposed to in college, it's like, that's where the education comes from. You know, I've always kind of, I don't know, I like to be a little abrasive with some people, but I've always found it interesting when people like to throw around the educated uneducated labels, right? And it's like, okay, you may have 3 degrees, but if I take you to a welder shop, you're not going to know your head from your asshole, you know? Now, this guy in here who's exposed to this all the time, he's going to outshine you. You know, it just really depends on where's your wheelhouse and how long have you been exposed to it, you know? So to me, when we talk about formal education or informal education, it's like formal education is your college degree, right? Education is knowing your craft very well, you know, and you only learn that by doing it. So,
Yeah, experiencing it.
yeah. So you're going to have your doctoral degree pretty soon, I imagine.
That'd be great. Put something on the wall.
You know what? Nina's got 2 of them, and she's a special needs teacher.
Yeah,
So
you told me.
I think she's got a degree in, I don't even know. They're on the wall that nobody looks at.
It's that expensive
Yeah,
receipt.
Congratulations. So what's coming up in your future? What's next? I mean, you're
That's
at
a
Mariachi
good
Bar every Friday.
I am.
For March?
For March, yeah, for now.
And so that's downtown next to Mi Tierra. So 7 o'clock on Fridays.
Yes, sir, until close or until they kick us out.
And what happens April 1st?
April 1st is my favorite holiday. It's my mom's anniversary, actually.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. That's a good question.
Do you
I definitely will making music. That's for sure.
Are you planning on staying here or are you heading back to New York?
The plan is to head back.
Okay.
Yeah, the plan is to head back.
You're going to be a Thea soon, right?
I'm going to be aware.
Thea? You're going to be an aunt here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister's having a baby, so her second child. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's why I kind of came down to help her out and, you know, enjoy. Plus, it was cold over there, so
Yeah.
nobody was really working. I was like, I might as well just come over here, right? And
So how long are you
Worked out
going to
well.
be in New York for? I need a time frame because I get anxiety when you leave and then I got to
don't
work
know.
through
It's
it.
because you're gonna have to go visit.
Oof.
Now you have a reason to go.
FaceTime.
You're the person that needs a reason to go
Oh,
somewhere.
I don't know about New York. I need grass and trees.
There's Central Park right there in the middle of it.
You know what? I envision Central Park as similar to fishing at Calaveras. Yeah, it's a lake. Yeah, there's fish in it. But there's a whole bunch of fish hooks stuck in the banks. And, I'll wait for you to come back.
No, believe me, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But
Are people a little more abrasive like what you hear on TV, or is everybody pretty decent to you?
it's kind of like it's like when you're in like a really bad part of town.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
you stay in your lane and don't fuck with anybody, nobody gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the rule. People are not as mean though people are. I go around a lot in traje though, so
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of
That eases people because
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. It does most of the time. They're really nice actually. If you need help, they'll help you. I think what I really like is the public transportation. I hate driving.
Really?
I hate driving. Yeah, and I just really like the fact that I get to go and walk to the deli or walk to the train and go to the job and then come back without a car.
Is it
All without a
scary
car.
though? Is the train as scary as it looks?
No, because I grew up on the west side, so
Okay.
I'm always like kind of alert to my parents. I watched like a lot of SVU when I was young, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. That's my show. Seen every episode. And my parents too. My parents were like always like real. Like they used to always show us those Lifetime movies, like the kids getting abducted
Or they're
being
burning bed
stupid.
when the husband cheated and then she burns a bed with him in it.
It's like
Yeah.
they were like doing it, to prepare us so that we're not, stupid,
Yeah.
just little things parked next to a light or, don't be walking around with your headphones on blast.
Oh,
I walk
yes.
around with my headphones, but there's like almost never anything playing in there.
Yeah.
I'm always like
Carry a
alert,
gun
at least.
or a knife.
Are
we shooters?
I'm in the
Are we
process of getting my pistola.
Really?
I don't know if I can have it up there though.
I think it's really difficult in New York to
think
get a
so, too.
permit.
Like they don't even have open carry over there. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
It is very different though. It is a.
when are we going shooting?
I don't know.
Before April?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know.
I'm down.
I love to take people shooting, and I always tell people.
I've never shot a gun. I just think it's some of the old school trajes, like the lady that I was telling you about earlier, Aida Cuevas, she's still very involved. Even at her age, she's like a little older already, but she still sings really good.
I don't even want to ask how old she is because you're going to tell me she's my age.
No, it's just for somebody to have like a long career, you know, like it, like same way I look at my dad, I'm like, damn, like that's a long ass time, you know, like just respect for having that much endurance, because it's like not for the weak. Her, though, what I was telling you about is that her trajes always come with the belt, and she always has a gun in there.
Oh,
and
really?
I just think that's really cool. I was like, man, nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Or even like just bring back some of the cool bolo ties. Mariachis used to wear like bolo ties, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get some, like, just in case, you know.
Well, we need to go shooting sometime.
Yeah, because I got to learn how to shoot the gun first before I buy it, right?
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, even friends of mine who don't like guns, I always tell them, well, let me show you how a gun works.
It's good at least to know, right? Yeah.
Because if you ever have to take control of one and make it unsafe, if you ever need to make it undangerous, you can always make it unsafe, right? Yeah. And so it's good to spend time at the range and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think we went. I told this story to somebody the other day, but we went to. Me and two friends went to a. One of them was Racy, the one from the Bernie restaurant, and her sister. We went to a restaurant, medical center, and I don't go anywhere. I come here, I go home, I go to the office. That's about it. And so we went to a restaurant to have, I guess, a late lunch. So I'm sitting in there, and it takes me a while to kind of get relaxed. And I had this conversation before with them and other people, but like it's hard for me to go someplace and have a good time because I'm always on the lookout, right? Too paranoid. So we're in this restaurant, and I'm looking outside and, you know, waiting for my friends to get there, and then wanting to get there ordering food. And there's a lot of commotion, right? Had my gun with me. And so we get ready to leave, and all three of us are in three different cars. And we're leaving, and there's a black guy and a Mexican lady down at the corner yelling at each other, getting each other's face. And so I was like, I told the girls, I said, hey, I'm going to back my truck up, but I'm going to wait for you guys to leave before I leave. Okay. And so everybody starts backing out. Well, this one guy comes out of the laundromat. He's got no shirt on. He's completely sweaty. And he just looks frantic. And so he stops at my friend's car, probably about 10 feet away. And so I took my gun out to put in the cup holder. And I'm watching, and he's talking to her about something, but he doesn't approach the car. And not that I was going to get crazy, but, you know, I was waiting for him to see what he does, right? She's a grown woman. I'm going to let her handle her business. But if he approaches the car, then I need to get out of the truck. And so I'm waiting, and he ends up turning around and walks off. And so she drives off, and I call her, or she calls me. I was like, what was that about? She goes, oh, he was just trying to sell me drugs. He said whatever I needed, he had. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, I said, well, at least he was being helpful. But, you know, it's crazy. I always tell people, and I've done some podcasts with guys that do security or own like shooting ranges and stuff, and it's just a good thing to be able to do as far as having the knowledge base to kind of control a weapon and understand how they function, but also, you know, sometimes you might go somewhere, and especially you guys, you know, you're out late, you're walking to the car, hopefully you'll walk together, and everybody leaves at the same time. But
these crazy outfits with money in the pocket and instrument, that's also worth more than our lives.
It's basically you're basically like a disco ball walking down the street.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we'll have to set
Definitely
something
grabs
up.
the attention.
We'll have to set something up. But I tell you what, I know we've been going for about an hour and a half, but I'd love for you to close out with a song.
Okay, let's do it. The song that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, if you remember which song it was, but I'll take anything. You can sing the phone book to me. I'll explain to you what a phone book is here in a little while when you're young. Wait, real quick. Where can people find you?
Facebook, Victoria Rosa. Instagram, Victoria Rosa, _. TikTok, I think also Victoria Rosa _. I think that's all. That's all I got.
Trio Ardiente?
Yeah, Trio Ardiente. Also, you can contact them at trio.ardiente. And that's all I got. There are new things to come.
You guys are open for hiring gigs and parties and whatever else?
All the time, yep.
Okay. They can reach you on social media?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's all the information to that.
Awesome.
Tú me acostumbraste a todas esas cosas y tú me enseñaste que son maravillosas. Sutil llegaste a mí con una tentación, llenando de inquietud mi corazón. Yo no concedía como se quería en tu mundo raro y por ti aprendí. Por eso me pregunto al ver que me olvidaste, ¿por qué no me enseñaste cómo se vive sin ti?
Victoria Rosa, you're amazing.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you, everybody.
Let's get some tacos.
We'll go get some tacos.
Thanks for listening to the Gabe Molina podcast.
Yo, Barry.